One of the reasons we tell people to avoid ego battles is you never know how far the other guy is willing to take it. Hi everybody, welcome to today's lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I'm your host, John Correa. Today's video comes to us from Queens, New York. Guy at the bottom of our screen is actually somewhat of a local celebrity, former football player for college in the area. Guy in the middle of our screen, you're gonna see them bump, and that's going to cause a big problem here. This guy is apparently a prohibited possessor who nevertheless is going to have a firearm on him. So they're going to see them bump, and now there's a couple breaks in here as they're talking to each other, and then the guy in the white shirt just sucker punches the other guy, and now the fight is on. So our dude is going to get after that a little bit, and when he doesn't like it, he's going to draw a firearm and shoot him immediately. Let's see it one more time. See them get a bump, and so now they're going to have an argument and talk about it a little bit, and the dude in the white shirt throws a punch, and now the fight is on. So our other guy tackles him but gets downed himself. Now as they keep going again, there's a couple of breaks there, nothing I could do about that. Now it does sound like our victim here is going to make a full recovery. The perp is facing attempted murder charges and assault charges and criminal possession of a weapon charges, and that's where this one ends. Man, that is a really negative outcome. If you want to follow me kind of behind the scenes as I try to live the life as a self-defender, would you just follow me on Instagram? Look me up, look up your Instagram app, type @Active Self-Protection, hit the follow there for me, going to classes, going to the range, living the life, trying to do the things that I encourage you to do every day. So like and follow me over there, would you? So of course, first thing we want to talk about here is to watch out for your personal space, right? Sometimes these kinds of things get solved real easy with a simple apology. So when you give somebody a shoulder or something like that, you gotta watch out for that stuff. So be cautious, be a good, sane, sober, moral, prudent person who's just staying out of people's way. Excuse me, my friend, can I get around you? Something like that. A lot of times a little bit of verbal judo can save you significant problems later on. So that's one of the reasons we talk about being a good, sane, sober, moral person. And I think that's the single biggest lesson out of this particular one. Now then, as the guy gets turned around, the guy is instituting a fight. So he's kind of instituted a physical assault there by smacking him and saying, hey, what the heck, man? And here's the time where we remember, you do not have to accept every invite to a fight that you are given. Guy bumps like that. Now it's a social problem. And again, this is an ego battle. So what we got to do here is simply de-escalate, escape, and evade. Oh, hey man, my bad. You're right. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That verbal judo, that de-escalation, escape, and evasion is a huge part of personal fitness here. Now then, I want us to notice the fact that what we're going to see is we're going to see some significant time go by here. There's plenty of time to de-escalate this conflict, but now as we see it again, you can see there's about 45 seconds that they've been standing there and jawing at each other. These are all the opportunities to disengage from the problem, or at the very least, not allow somebody into your personal space. When you're managing a hostile contact like this, you do not want to stand with your hands at your side in the kind of space that he can attack you from, that he can reach you from his current position. Because that's exactly what we see go down here. As you see him now start that punch, you can see him load up on his back foot. That weight shifting is a sure sign of a pre-attack indicator. That loading from that back foot means he's coming towards you. And so you got to watch out for that. And if your hands are down at your sides like this, there's literally nothing you're going to do because the guy's inside your reactionary gap. He's inside your boundary, which is one of the reasons we say keep that distance, even 3-4 feet between you, or your hands up in a defensive fence. Hey man, I don't want any problems. Let's not have any problems together, because otherwise, even as we slow it down here, that took about 0.3 of a second from the time that he loaded the weight on his back foot till the time that the punch was fully delivered. And in that time, because of human reactionary time, you are not going to be able to get your hands up. And so this is an ego thing. We see people all the time that keep their hands down at their sides and inside of somebody else's reactionary gap, and that is a stupid thing to do from a self-defense perspective. Now then, it's a physical fight. That's assault for sure, okay? So that's wrong and on every level. Now then, I want you to notice that our dude here, who is the victim, decided to take down the other guy, but he ends up on the bottom position. So he tries to take down him and tackle this guy and teach him a lesson. Okay, fine, he's a football player. He knows how to tackle, but he ends up in a bad position on the bottom against the aggressor who punched him in the face. So A, you could have just let that one be. B, if you do get in a fight, recognize you may end up in a bad position like on the ground inside control. So you better have some empty-handed skills, some grounded fighting skills. This is where those kind of things really come into play. Now he did get up here. And now again, we see some more significant time go on. but he decided he wanted to continue the ego battle. So guess what? Escalation of conflict. We've already seen this guy escalate the conflict from a verbal conflict to a physical one, and you've got to recognize that criminals do not think like you do. If he's willing to escalate it a little bit, he's willing to escalate it farther. Second thing you're going to see is, look at our perp. You can't see his right hand. The eyes may be the windows to the soul. The hands, though, are the windows to the intent. And so therefore, when you can't see his hands, you better recognize there could be something there. And that's exactly what we see here, is that gun comes up and out. And our perp now is not aiming that gun with the sights or anything like that. It's just sticking it out in front and shooting him in the chest at basically point blank range. But notice here that he did an okay job, our victim did, of actually staying out of physical contact with the guy, so the guy couldn't punch him again. But that actually gave him really good contact in order to shoot him, where our victim rather couldn't get his hands on the gun. Would have been very difficult there. He could have reached all the way out and got it, but would have been very difficult, and once again happens very, very quickly. So I think the big lesson out of this one is de-escalate, escape, and evade wherever you can. Number two, you better have some empty-handed skills and know how to keep yourself out of these kinds of conflicts. Number three, if he's escalated it once, he's probably willing to escalate it again, or very likely to be willing to escalate it again. So get out of the danger zone as fast as you can. I'm grateful that it looks like he's going to make a full recovery on this one. I'm grateful that the perp is going to go to jail for quite a long time, but let's learn the lessons so we can better cover our asp.